Elizabeth Fritzl was held captive in a basement and sexually abused by her father, Joseph Fritzl, for 24 years and had 7 of his children. Elizabeth was born on April 6, 1966, and raised in her family's home in Amstetten, Austria. When she was 11 years old, Joseph, her father, started sexually abusing her. Joseph began drawing up plans to build his extended cellar around 1981. He equipped the space with electricity, made it soundproof, and installed a toilet, sink, stove, and refrigerator, as well as a bed. In 1984, he asked a then 18-year-old Elizabeth to help him hang the final door in the cellar. During the process, Joseph held an ether-soaked cloth to her face until she was unconscious and then moved her into the cellar, where she'd be trapped for 24 years. Joseph physically, mentally, and sexually abused Elizabeth almost daily starting on the 2nd day of her captivity. He told everyone that she had run away to join a cult and forced her write letters to support his story. Elizabeth was alone, save for Joseph's abuse, for the first 5 years of captivity. During her 24 years of imprisonment, Elizabeth gave birth to 7 of her father's children. Joseph took 3 of the kids, Lisa, Monica, and Alexander, to live with him and Rosemarie, staging 3 incidents in which a baby would be left on their doorstep with notes from Elizabeth, asking for Joseph and Rosemarie to care for them. Meanwhile, 3 other children, Kirsten, Stefan, and Felix, remained locked in the cellar with Elizabeth. A twin boy named Michael died days after birth, and Joseph later admitted to incinerating the corpse. Joseph Fritzl had 7 children with his daughter, Elizabeth. His crimes may not have been limited to his sexual, physical, and mental abuse of Elizabeth. Joseph specifically designed the basement to make it nearly impossible for Elizabeth to escape from it or for anyone nearby to hear her if she screamed for help. He came up with a makeshift security system and ensured the cellar was soundproof. I brought in a heavy door of steel and concrete and equipped it with a remote-controlled electrical motor, which would open it only after a numeric code was entered, he told Austrian prosecutors. During his conversation with Austrian prosecutors, Joseph noted that, in case of his death, he had a timer set so that if he ever didn't unlock and enter the cellar for a certain length of time, it would unlock and she could be free. But there was an unexpected turn of events when Elizabeth's daughter, Kirsten, then 19, became ill. On April 19, 2008, Elizabeth convinced Joseph to bring Kirsten to a hospital for medical treatment. Once there, Joseph gave Kirsten's care team a note to demonstrate that Elizabeth was Kirsten's mother, who was away in a cult. Doctors made a televised appeal to Kirsten's missing mother to come forward and provide information. About Kirsten's medical history, the New York Times reported, Elizabeth, who had a television in the cellar, saw the TV report and convinced Joseph to release her and the 2 other children, sons Felix and Stefan, who were still imprisoned in the cellar with her. On April 26, 2008, Elizabeth visited Kirsten at the hospital with Joseph after she was freed, at which point Joseph was arrested on suspicion of sexual abuse. Police questioned Elizabeth about what she endured, but she wouldn't cooperate unless they promised her that she'd never have to see her father again. Joseph was charged with coercion, deprivation of liberty, incest, rape, and enslavement of Elizabeth, as well as the murder of newborn Michael by negligence for not getting him medical attention. He initially pleaded guilty to all charges except enslavement and murder. But after a few days of his criminal trial, he pleaded guilty to all charges. The New York Times reported that Michael's negligent death carried the highest sentence, and prosecutors demanded the maximum time for Joseph. On March 19, 2009, a then 73-year-old Joseph was sentenced to life in prison. With the approval of Elizabeth doctors, she has ceased psychiatric therapies while she gets on with her life. Learning to drive, helping her children with their homework, making friends with people in her locality, Maria Dolores Lulu Sosa, a Mexican woman and mother of 2, crossed paths with Ramon Sosa, a retired professional boxer, in 2007 at a nightclub. Their connection was instant, and after 2 years of dating, they tied the knot in 2009 and settled down in Texas. The union appeared harmonious as they complemented each other, even venturing into business together by opening Woodlands Boxing and Fitness in 2010. Lulu took on the role of a trainer while also overseeing the financial aspects of the establishment. However, by 2015, the marriage began to falter, prompting Lulu to enlist the services of a divorce lawyer to initiate the legal proceedings. Just a few months before the divorce proceedings could be concluded, Mundo, a friend of Ramon, overheard Lulu discussing with her daughter about her desire to make Ramon disappear to acquire his money. Aware of Mundo's previous association with the gang, she sought his assistance. Mundo, remaining loyal to Ramon, pretended to agree but immediately informed Ramon about Lulu's plans. In collaboration, Ramon and Mundo obtained a disposable phone, collected evidence, and reported the matter to the Montgomery Co-Constable's office. On July 15th, they presented audio recordings where Lulu was captured, expressing her intent to have Ramon killed for his life insurance, specifying that the task should be completed before July 22nd, the date of their impending divorce finalization. The authorities, in need of additional evidence, engaged an undercover agent who assumed the role of a hitman and successfully obtained the promised funds from Lulu. The police explained that, in cases involving solicitation of capital murder, it's not unusual to simulate the crime scene, and that's precisely the approach they adopted. On July 21, 2015, makeup was applied to Ramon to create the appearance of a bullet wound to his head, and he was positioned in a shallow pit. Pictures were taken with the flashes on, and the undercover agent was dispatched to present these images to Lulu, creating the illusion that the job had been carried out. Upon receiving the photographs, Lulu handed over the remaining agreed-upon money and valuables to the undercover agent. For the duration, Ramon was accommodated in a hotel, and on July 23, 2015, Lulu was formally charged with the solicitation of capital murder. She was apprehended at the family gym, and the authorities had amassed substantial evidence pointing to her intent to eliminate her husband for financial gain. Reflecting on the incident, Raymond's daughter expressed the horror of contemplating that someone, especially someone so close as his wife, would harbor intentions to harm her father. Having spent 15 months in prison, Lulu eventually recognized that the most prudent choice was to enter a guilty plea for her crimes. Opting for this course of action proved beneficial, resulting in a reduced sentence. On October 11, 2016, Lulu accepted a plea deal, securing a 20-year prison sentence. Her divorce from Ramon had been concluded earlier, and she received no financial gain from it. Additionally, their family business transitioned to Ramon's ownership. Lulu is presently serving her sentence at the Christina Melton Crane Unit in Texas, with the earliest possible release date set for August 22, 2025. Her husband expressed forgiveness, stating that he forgave her on the day he witnessed her in chains. He expressed sadness at the outcome, attributing it to her greed. He conveyed a hope that she might emerge from prison reformed, expressing a desire for her to lead a different and peaceful life upon her potential release.
Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe for more.